Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the Gretzky Center here in Brantford. Thursday night class GOHL hockey. I'm Alec Murray. Thanks for tuning in. The Fort Erie Meteors and Brantford Titans again for the second time in 2026. Underway here in the first period as Brantford looks to get on the board and get their first W of the 2026 new season. Fort Erie tonight guns for their 14th consecutive win. That's the longest streak in the Greater Ontario Hockey League to date. Brantford on it first as Stippen centers it up top. It'll come through the slot and all the way back out at center. David Buckman back to corral for Brantford. One of the busiest teams during this week, and the trade deadline approaching, of course, in the Greater Ontario Hockey League, adding Caledonia captain Ty McCutcheon. And then Connor Clark makes his Brantford debut, getting traded from London back to the Eastern Conference. And started his career with Pelham, now back here with Brantford tonight. He'll make his Titan debut. Here's Fort Erie. Aiden Zimmerman a drive. That one goes wide. Lucas Bergman gets the start for the Titans. It'll be newcomer Raphael Tremblay talking about debuts. He'll make his debut for the Fort Erie Meteors. He was acquired earlier this week from the Smith Falls Bears of the CCHL. Trent Valancourt on it in his own zone, and Valancourt scanning up at center. He'll fire it into the zone. Takis has to retreat. He's got Want with him as help. All the way around to the near side boards, Valancourt able to hold it in. He'll work it down low for Zimmerman. Centering pass up top, and that skips by Gage Brandon all the way back down the ice. Meteors back on it, down in their own zone. Ty McCutcheon. He gets hammered into the boards by Zimmerman. The two of them come together and get tied up. They continue down in the Fort Erie zone. Meanwhile, the puck is back through center and down into the Brantford zone for Watt. McCutcheon into the Fort Erie zone, gets by Schmidt. He'll throw it out front. Tremblay a good stick. Cunningham for Reese Meteor. He's got speed. Good stick by Buckman. Meteor goes flying into the far boards, and it'll be corralled there by David Buckman up for Caleb Frank. Frank will weave his way in onside, looking for Buckman, back for Frank. Frank, quick shot right on, and Tremblay absorbs and hangs on. Mazzotti now going at Frank down to the end boards. Again, these two teams meeting each other for the second time in 2026. Fort Erie, a 4-0 win on home ice on Saturday. Brantford yet to beat Fort Erie this season, trying to do it here tonight for the first time and snap a 13-game win streak in the process. Off the face-off, it'll be Christie back at the blue line. Christie lost it to Masterson, and Rylan Masterson, he'll work it up through center. Try to thread it in for Cunningham, misfired on him as it bounces back out at center. Here's Connor Clark. Clark stripped of the puck there. Rylan Masterson in behind his own goal. Christie holds it in. Gauthier goes to the far side for Buckman. His drive right on. Tremblay again, gloves and hangs on for a faceoff. 17-14, just underway here at period number 1. Trade deadline quickly approaching in the Greater Ontario Hockey League. One more day, and then teams will be set for the remainder of the season down the stretch into the playoffs. Fort Erie, they'll work it through center. Here's Tate Donald. Donald will turn back on the half boards, now up top of the blue line. Trying to shake Buckman. Poirier in the corner. He'll play it back off the boards for Donald. Donald, far side. It'll be picked up by Mateo Gauthier, and he's back the other way through center. Gauthier's got Clark with him. He'll hang on to it. Tight angle shot goes high. All the way around back to the blue line. Chivetti holds it in. Centering pass out front, a drive. Blocked on goal. Another one on Tremblay. He's got that one. So he's been tested early in his Meteor debut, and he's been up to the task to start off this first period. Sam Tonelli coming in to take the face out of the defensive zone. Tonelli, 4 points away in his Greater Ontario Hockey League career from 200. Radford will work it in over the blue line. Down into the corner, Colton Radford. He got pile driven into the boards. Loose puck will come to the near side. It'll be knifed out and down the ice. Mazzotti, look out. Here's Papel in behind him. Quick shot. That went wide of the goal. Oons got it on the far side. Quick drive from the point. And it's gloved down once again by Tremblay. Couple of games going on across the Greater Ontario Hockey League tonight. We'll keep you up to date on those as we move along here. Couple of 7 o'clock starts, one at 7:07, one 7:10 tonight. So they spread it out just a little bit. As now Oon's going to get tossed from the faceoff down. Papel, he's going to go to the far wing. And now Capel's going to come in and take it. No, he's not. They're going to try and figure out here who's going to take the faceoff. And Capel's going to be sent out now. And the linesman's going to overrule it at center here. Communication as they figure it out and drop the puck here. Down to the Fort Erie zone. Mets will have it at center. Here's Radford. He'll rip it in. Look out off the end boards. Weird ricochet. And having to be sharp was Bergman as he covers at the side of the goal. Talking about that trade deadline fastly approaching. A couple of moves earlier on in the Greater Ontario Hockey League today. Marcus Harris going to Grimsby in Junior C from Port Colborne. Their leading point getter has left, so interesting move there from the Port Colborne Sailors, who sit in that 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. Tonelli pinned into the end boards, trying to work it free. Brantford, they'll cut it front of their own goal, and here's Takis with it. Takis will move it up through center. He's got Stippen. Stippen, far side, that pass, pad save made by Tremblay. Scriven, out of the far side. Centering pass off a skate back up top, held in. Takis lets it fly. Tremblay the save. Rebound, oh, he got that one too. A couple of nice saves from Raphael Tremblay. Big hit in the corner. Tonelli taking a beating in this shift as Fort Erie will move it out at center with Danny Adamo. Penalty coming though, Tremblay to the bench. And that's going to be deflected up and out of play, so we'll get our first power play look here. Boarding's going to be the call on the Brantford Titans. It looks like it's going to be on Stippen for that hit on Tonelli down in the corner. And Fort Erie's going to go to the power play. Faceoff will be to the right of Bergman. As Brantford will win the draw, and they'll shovel it around and clear it out at center. So the 4:46 mark, Stippen to the box. There's another hit on the far side. That'll be cleared back into the Fort Erie zone. Tremblay will play it in behind the goal. 30 seconds already gone on the man advantage for the Meteors. Tate Donald. He'll whisk through the neutral zone. Off for Nicholson. Evan Nicholson around to the far side. Adamo will leave it up top of the blue line. They'll get set up now. Tonelli skips it back for Donald. His shot through traffic. Come back out front. Score! It's Evan Nicholson off the redirect from the end boards. And Fort Erie, a power play goal to start this one off. It's 1-0 Mets. Couple of weird bounces to start this hockey game off, and that one costing the Brantford Titans a goal as Evan Nicholson all over it out front of the Titan goal, and Bergman no chance on it. 1-0 Fort Erie. Titans already in this one, 9 shots on goal. Fort Erie able to score, though, on their third. Frank onto the near side. He'll tip it down in. There's Tremblay out to play it in behind the goal. Skipped up at center. Here's Cunningham across the blue line. Eric Cunningham trying to dance his way in. He'll play it back to Schmidt at the point. Schmidt slaps it right back down in. Fort Erie trying to clear the zone. They can't. Frank able to hold it in. Wicklander. Back up top to the point. McCutcheon to the near side. Christie tried to go back across. Battle out front of the Fort Erie net. We got a penalty coming, and this one is going to be on Fort Erie, I believe, for a high stick out front on R.J. Schmidt. So Fort Erie now shorthanded. Here goes Colton Radford down the wing. Radford tight angle shot. Bergman the save. He'll play it off to the corner. Titans an early chance back to match Fort Erie's early power play goal in this one. Brantford has had the better start here tonight. Frank, he'll move across the blue line, dances his way around Valancourt, and that puck will be cleared once again right on goal. Mets quick changes. They'll get a fresh kill unit out there as Ty McCutcheon will start out of his own zone. McCutcheon out of the far side. Buckman drop past Frank at the logo. Caleb Frank will wheel in down the far wing. Here's Frank stepping into the middle of the ice. His shot deflects high over top of the goal. Back out of the near side corner. He'll work it back up to the blue line. McCutcheon goes far side for Buckman. Buckman looking out front. Big collision as bodies flying out front of Tremblay. Loose puck at the blue line. Frank has it. A minute to go on the man advantage. It'll be picked up here down low. Scriven goes in behind the net. Back up top for McCutcheon. Wicklander in behind the Fort Erie goal. Centering pass out front. That shot is wired wide by Buckman. Head Tremblay lodged deep in his goal. Couldn't hit the net. It's cleared. Buckman will work it quickly back into the zone. And Fort Erie just as quickly he'll send it back down the ice. 12 minutes to go here in period number 1. 1-0 Fort Erie on a power play goal from Evan Nicholson. Here's Christie through the logo. He'll drop it back. Nobody home for Brantford. Kim LeMay's got to reset. 15 seconds to go. Connor Clark will circle the O zone. He's in. Far side pass. Brantford able to get it in deep. 8 seconds to go on the power play. Still trying to work is Clark. He's got Gauthier coming out. Gauthier works himself to the high slot. Now dishes off far side. Stippen back up top. Gauthier back to even strength hockey. Rylan Masterson now with it for Fort Erie. He'll work it around the near side boards. Christie able to hold it in. That's off the end board. Brantford looking for a fortunate bounce of their own there. They get it out front in the slot, and it's fanned on. Back to the point. Christie holds it. Trailer. Stippen back for Gauthier. What a move in the slot. Gauthier a shot. Tremblay the save. Lunging out Tremblay. Loose puck in the blue paint, and he covers for a face-off, and Masterson is red hot down on the far side. He's got Christie. Masterson and Christie are going to be separated, it looks like, down on the goal line. And nothing further as now Clark and Cunningham. And that developed after the play. Masterson didn't like something that happened down low. Tremblay lunging out of the blue paint. So they're both sent to the penalty box. It'll most likely just be offsetting roughing penalties or misconducts. We'll see what they opt to do here. So we'll sort things out here down at ice level. But Christie and Masterson, the rookie and the vet, toe-to-toe down in the Fort Erie zone. And it looks like it'll be 4-on-4 here for a pair of minutes. So a little bit of extra ice here for a couple of minutes here as we approach the midway point of this first period. 1-0 Fort Erie on top. Looking to extend that win streak to 14 tonight. Brantford trying to be the team to snap it. All the way around the boards, Watt pinching in, Papel. He gets it down low for Watt. Watt, a tight angle shot. Save made by Tremblay. He'll work it out at center as Takis will give chase. As that one driven on Tremblay, he hangs on. 14th shot of the period already for the Titans. They've been active on goal in Fort Erie. Tremblay, good start here in this first. Meteors win the faceoff. Here's Gage Brandon. First week with the Meteors went pretty well for him. A centering pass out front all alone. Bergman, what a save! With the left pad, he robs Nicholson of his second already. And Bergman keeps it 1-0. Gage Brandon coming off a Player of the Week nod in his first week as a Meteor. A hat trick over the Welland Canadians. 4 points in his first 2 games. And now Nicholson's going to get tossed from the faceoff circle. Here's Brandon to come in and take the draw. He'll win it for Nicholson. Quick shot goes high. That'll be sent down the ice. Icing's going to be waved off. Played in behind the Fort Erie goal around to the near side. There's Caleb Frank to meet it. Frank centering it out front, goes to the far boards. Loose puck will be picked up by Brandon. He'll chip it over for Patty O'Farrell. O'Farrell, they've got 3. Try to go back to Brandon. Good stick on the back end by Buckman. 30 seconds remaining in the offsetting minors as Thorpe will have it leaked out at center. Thorpe, little chip pass in for Nicholson. Here goes Evan Nicholson off to the races. Nicholson couldn't get a shot off as he was poked free, and now that puck is back down the other way for Thorpe. Frank sends him hard into the boards. Thorpe goes crashing in. He pops right back up. 10 seconds away. Little tap pass into the slot. Here's Donald. What a move. Donald to the goal, and he sent it just wide. Couple of good chances for both sides in the 4-on-4s. Masterson and Christie are out of the penalty boxes and back into the action. Back to 5-on-5 here with just under 9 minutes to play in the first period. Gauthier circles it back. Up on for Kim LeMay. Kim LeMay, he was burned off by Greenwald. Work back around and up. Kim LeMay holds the zone. Back down low, bouncing puck. Masati had it deflect off him, and now he's got it back in behind the Fort Erie goal. Cunningham, rink wide, he's got Greenwald. They'll work it in. Bergman out to play it. Poirier, first man on it in the corner with Cunningham. Kim LeMay tied him up. It'll be taken there by Watt. He'll loft it high through Valancourt, and that's going to be offside as Trent Valancourt was well in the neutral zone area. And that'll bring us a face-off with 8:12 to go here in the first period in the neutral zone. 1-0 Fort Erie. Out-of-town scoreboard. Pelham in air tonight. That game scoreless midway through the first period. Hamilton up 1-0 over the Caledon Bombers at the Dave Anderchuk in Hamilton. That one 5 minutes in. And scoreless in Sarnia at the Pat Stapleton. 0-0 Legionnaires and Rockets midway through the first period. To look at our out-of-town scoreboard across the Greater Ontario Hockey League on a Thursday night. Here's Pepperall to the far side. He's got Cunningham in. Cunningham will work it in. Pepperall back in after it. Stippen trying to clear the zone. Now he's got it. He'll flip it to the far side and out. Pepperall knocks it back for Cunningham. Reese Mateer, he couldn't settle a bouncing puck. And Stippen able to get it for Frank at center. Masterson takes Frank into the boards. That'll be sent down into the Fort Erie zone. Tremblay out to play the puck. He'll leave it for Schmidt. fired down the ice, and that'll be icing on the Meteors. Faceoff will be to the right of Tremblay. It'll be worked out by Fort Erie through center. Christian Glowacki will send it down the ice. Glowacki, a new acquisition as well for Brantford from the Hamilton Kiltybees in his first game tonight for the Brantford Titans. O'Farrell gets a bounce into the zone. Patrick O'Farrell to his offhand, try to get it out front for Adamo. And he's stripped to the puck, and Ty McCutcheon will work it back the other way. McCutcheon's pass, intended for Wicklander, going to be icing on Brantford. Faceoff will be to the right of Lucas Bergman. Off the faceoff, quick drive. That was blocked from Radford, and now Brantford's got three the other way. Here's Frank. He'll cut to the middle of the ice. Caleb Frank, back pass for Wicklander into his skates. Work down into the corner. RJ Schmidt will knock it down with his glove and work it back in behind the Fort Erie goal. Picked up, loose puck will be brought through for Tonelli. Tonelli for Adamo, back for Tonelli. Here's Sam Tonelli, and Tonelli scores! And he gets shoved into the boards after the goal. There's going to be a penalty coming here on Glowacki. Tonelli makes it 2-0, and the Meteors are going to go back to the power play as Sam Tonelli, now 3 points away from 200. And that line strikes again for the Meteors. And Tonelli, some words for the Brantford bench on his way by. And again, these two teams have seen each other quite often here, now 3 times in the last couple of weeks. And again, if the playoffs were to start today, this would be the first round matchup. And Ryland Masterson having a conversation with the ref, and maybe there wasn't a penalty called on that play. Doesn't look like it. So they're going to keep it 5-on-5. It looked like the referee had his hand up in the corner, but no call. So play will continue as Bergman will leave it at the side of the net. 2-0 Fort Erie. Sam Tonelli getting the second goal for the Meteors. And it's his 19th of the season. Meteors will try to get it out of their zone. Can't. Held in at the blue line. A shot on goal comes in. Tremblay will cover, and some pushing and shoving again after every whistle, it seems. Fort Erie off the face-off, high loft shot out at center. Gage Brandon trying to knock it down. He's got it into the zone. He's got Zimmerman to the goal. Here's Brandon trying to get it across. Great play on the back end by Christie. Brandon able to hold the zone. He'll work it back in. Seen a couple of different line looks for Gage Brandon to start his Mets tenure. This time they're going to try him with the youngster Nicholson and Aiden Zimmerman. Here's Valancourt across the blue line. Trent Valancourt centering pass out front. He was looking for Zimmerman. Couldn't get that puck out front. It'll be played off the boards. And Nicholson not able to hold it in again. That was definitely out of the zone through center with 4:52 to go. A faceoff will come in the neutral zone. Off the face-off, it'll be worked down into the Brantford zone. There's Watt. Under 5 to play here in the first period. 2-0 Mets. Turnover. Greenwald, quick shot. Goes just wide. He scored a goal exactly like that on Saturday night against Brantford. Glowacki, big hit on the end boards, that time on Donald. Work back up top to the point. Thorpe will go to Mazzotti. Mazzotti is shot. Save Bergman. And he's able to cover before Greenwald could get there. And again, some pushing and shoving after the whistle. Faceoff will be to the right of the Brantford goal, won by the Titans, and they'll work it out with Kim LeMay. Look out, big collision, him and Tate Donald at center ice. Meteors will flip it back into the zone with 4 to play. David Buckman skips it onto the far boards. Christie after it. Brantford's got to get back on side. Patty O'Farrell, he'll work it up at center through the logo. Onto the far side for Cunningham, in onside. O'Farrell jumping up in the play. He's got it down in the corner. And puck will come all the way back around and flipped out at center. Off a skate, though. Little tap pass there for Pepperell. Pepperell got Cunningham and Meteor with him. His drive goes off a skate wide of the net. Brantford will whack it out back at center. Valancourt. He'll dump it right back in for the Meteors. Flipped high off the glass and back out at center. Rylan Masterson. Him and Chivetti battle for it. Masterson will flip it back in. Buckman. He'll play it off the boards. Back up, not out. Valancourt holds the zone. Pepperell back onto the far side corner. He'll sling it back up top to the point. Held in by Masterson out front. All alone. Bergman the save. Rebound the save too. He got Meteor twice. And now the Titans with Mateo Gauthier will get it out of the zone. Onto the far side, Buckman, but jumping the gun offside, Brantford. And a faceoff coming in the neutral zone. And again, here we go down low. As it almost seems after every whistle tonight, these two teams exchanging pleasantries. And we'll see how long the leash is. Rylan Masterson mixed up in the middle of it once again for the Meteors. Off the face-off, it'll be ripped into the Meteors zone. Mazzotti back to collect. Mazzotti off the boards for Adamo. Adamo loses it. Here comes Brantford into the zone. Wicklander up top to the point. Takis drive. That one was wide of the goal. Look out, back across. Tremblay was run over in his crease by Frank. They got a battle going on. Tremblay as Frank has his stick. Meanwhile, here's Fort Erie the other way. Tonelli, he just missed it. Wicklander wheeling back the other way. He'll drop Frank. Cross seam pass from McCutcheon. Misfired. And here goes Danny Adamo one-on-one with Watt. Adamo into the zone trying to work around Watt. Good job to take away the body. And Adamo, a whack after the shot on goal. And with 2:01 to go here in the period, a faceoff coming to the left of Bergman. Faceoff will be to the left. Meteors will win it clean. Back to the point. Schmidt a drive. That one's into the mitt of Bergman, who hangs on once again. Off the face-off, tied up in the corner. Gage Brandon trying to free it up for the Meteors. Played along by the Titans. Stippen. He'll tip it out of the zone, and here goes Chamberlain with a lot of speed. Chamberlain, he's got Scriven with him to the goal. His drive goes wide. Maybe got a piece of it, Tremblay. Brandon collects it back at center. Chamberlain on the back check. Can't get it from Brandon. He gets it up top as Brandon takes a hit. Pass for Zimmerman in the slot. Too many bodies there. And it's turned back by Christie. And they're offside once again into the line, and here we go again on the far boards. Christie again with Masterson, and the two of them again locking up, this time inside the Fort Erie zone. If you're Brantford, you like to see the kid playing with a little bit of a chip tonight on his shoulder, and Gavin Christie. And with 1:23 to go, the faceoff will come with the neutral zone. Off the faceoff, it'll be one back. Meteors have it in their zone. They'll work it up at center for Poirier. Poirier to the far side. Buckman, he's back for it. He'll skip it around. Poirier will knock it down, though. At the blue line, Donald able to hold it somehow. He'll get it across for Valancourt. Cutting it back up. Valancourt, he'll walk into a shot. Tipped on goal. Bergman down. Puck was loose momentarily, and it's covered by the Titan netminder. Off the face-off, Mets have it up top. As Clark's got it down to the corner. Buckman. At the blue line, held in there by the Meteors. Here's Poirier trying to slap it across for Donald. That pass was in behind him. And now it's worked back the other way. Gauthier tried to flip it back across the grain. That didn't work. Masterson has it in the corner. The Meteors will work with three back the other way. 30 seconds to work. Good play on the back end by Takis. Misplayed on the board, though, by Kim LeMay. Donald wheels in for Schmidt. Schmidt walks in with a drive. It's off a stick and up and out of play with 19.7. Faceoff will be to the right, the Brantford netminder, and now they're going to toss Papel out of the faceoff dot. So Capella will have to come in and take it against Tonelli on his strong side. High off the glass, though, able to free that puck out through center. 14 seconds to go. They've got it deep. Masterson misplayed it in behind his own goal. Titans looking for a late one in the period. Schmidt's got it on the end boards. He gets hit. An Oon centering pass tied up in the slot. And Danny Adamo will flip it up and out. And that will spell an end to period one here at the Gretzky Center. Fort Erie striking twice, once on a power play, and Sam Tonelli's 19th of the season has Fort Erie up 2-0. Brantford, though, out shooting Fort Erie in that first period as the Titans mustering 15 shots on goal on newcomer Raphael Tremblay. He stops all 15, and after 20, 2-0, Fort Erie on top of Brantford. We'll step aside here at the Gretzky Center, and we'll be back for period number 2 here in Brantford. And welcome back inside the Gretzky Center here in Brantford. Titans, Meteors. Second period underway. I'm Alec Murray filling in for Reese Dumani. Thanks for joining us on a Thursday night. A Greater Ontario Hockey League action as the Meteors holding a 2-0 lead over the home Brantford Titans. Fort Erie looking to extend that win streak to 14 tonight. And a couple of tough games on tap for the Meteors as well, as that one is worked back down low. Next two games for them, Cambridge and Fort Erie, as Tremblay kicks that one out. Now working onto the half wall, now back out at center. And they'll go down the ice as Buckman will race after it. Buckman spins it high off the glass out at center, knocked down by Thorpe. He'll fire it back in. Teams making quick changes here in the first period as Gavin Christie sends it out at center. Knocked down there by Aiden Zimmerman. He takes a spill in his own zone. Christie picks it back up into the Fort Erie end. Valancourt, he'll send it to the far side. Connor Clark toward the net. Look out direction out front. And Tremblay able to make the save. Couple of weird bounces in this end of the rink. Couple for Fort Erie in that first period. They were able to capitalize on one. And now another one as Tremblay is able to just stay with it. Unable to clear the zone as it's still held in by Fort Erie. Metz will make changes on the back end. There's O'Farrell and Schmidt onto the ice. Zimmerman down low, backdoor pass out front. I'll work it back up to the top. Brandon does. Schmidt turns it over. 2-on-1 back the other way. It's Gauthier. Gauthier holding, skips it across. Too hot to handle on the far side. It couldn't be knocked down by Connor Clark. Now it's Fort Erie back with Brandon. Brandon for Greenwald. Back across the slot for Zimmerman. Rolled off the heel of his stick. What a chance for the Titans. Couldn't even get a shot off. As Gauthier will work back into the zone. Greenwald shuts it down in the corner. He'll start back the other way for the Meteors. He's got Easton Poirier down the ice. Here's Poirier. He'll drive in behind the goal. Worked around up as Buckman will send it through at center. McCutcheon back across out front. Tremblay out front as he makes the save. Out to challenge as Buckman back of the blue line holds it in. He goes D to D. Takis for Caleb Frank. He'll knock it off the boards and back in. McCutcheon. And his pass deflects off a stick up and out of play. And the faceoff will come inside the Meteor zone. Faceoff will be deep inside Meteor territory. McCutcheon clean faceoff win. Valancourt wins the battle on the boards. He'll throw it up at center. Here's Reese Meteor trying to cut to the goal. Lost the puck. Has a good stick from Buckman again. Meteor's on it in the corner. He'll cycle it back up top. There's a drive on goal. Turned aside by Bergman. Frank all over Valancourt in the 40 zone. He's got it. Knifes it out front. Through the slot it comes. All the way down the ice now. Race for Pepperall. Could have a man as Meteor's to the goal. Pepperall on it. Missed it in the corner. Meteor now will pick it up. Meteor centering pass. Good stick again. David Buckman. Frank knocks it down at center. He'll move his way into the 40 zone. Caleb Frank holding, firing. Save Tremblay. Loose puck's knocked away to the corner. And we get a whistle. And again, more pushing and shoving. Ty McCutcheon takes a shot. Rylan Masterson doesn't like it. He grabs the former Corvair captain out of the pile. And again, an exchange after the whistle. Faceoff will be to the left of Raphael Tremblay. Back up top to the point. Here's Gavin Christie. He'll skip it for Stippen. Stippen goes down low. Kim LeMay return. Stippen cross ice. Here's a drive coming through. Stick save made there by Tremblay. Fort Erie can't clear it. Back onto the near side. As they're set up on the man advantage. Work back down low. Schmidt can't get a stick on it. Clark able to hold it in. $1:30 to go on the power play. Skating in on the far side is Christie. He'll dump it off on the boards. To the blue line. Skating in, holding far circle. Centering pass out front into the blue paint as Tonelli able to gather it in the corner. He'll play it off the boards, but not out. Held in by Christie again. Christie able to evade Schmidt. Back up top. Schmidt playing without a glove as well. Christie off a skate and it's out at center. Work down and around to the far side. Kim LeMay holds the zone. And Fort Erie able to clear it back out at center. 45 seconds to go in the Pepperell Minor. 5 minutes eclipse here in this second period. Back up at center, knocked in Nicholson. Zimmerman will give chase once more. Ripped around on the boards. Cunningham's got it. Cunningham holds it in. He'll send it back in deep. 20 seconds to go. Brantford, one last rush here if they hurry on the man advantage. 0 for 1 tonight so far, Brantford. As David Buckman will work it in. Two seconds to go, and that'll do it. Pepperell's out of the box as they blow the whistle as that puck's up and into the mesh just at the end of Pepperell's penalties. So back to 5-on-5 here. Brantford now 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Face off to the right of Tremblay. Face-off win. Takis can't hold the zone. It's back down the ice. Danny Adamo right on his tail. And almost turned it over as it deflects on goal. Bergman will cover. Tonelli in for the offensive zone face-off. It's tied up on the dot as the Meteors will control. Back up top, Danny Adamo. He's tripped up. Penalty coming to Brantford, and Fort Erie's going to go to the power play as it's the trail official making the call. Adamo. And it'll be Tom McCutcheon for tripping. And Fort Erie a chance to add on to the lead. A power play that's 1 for 1 tonight already. Fort Erie will win the draw back out at center. Papple takes his man in on the far boards. Metzel force it back in. Alan Watts got it. He'll hold off and unable to clear the zone. It's a turnover. Here's Nicholson. Nicholson to the backhand, right on. And the save is made by Bergman. And again, clearing out the crease are the Brantford Titans. So Tonelli in to take the face-off. Brantford will get a couple of new penalty killers out. Evan Nicholson, a power play goal for the Meteors in the first period. Adamo trying to work it free. It'll be worked back up top. Donald can't hold the blue line. And now the Mets will have to retreat at center. Adamo He's got it back in his own zone. He'll circle. Out there with Tate Donald, engage Brandon Samtonelli, and Evan Nicholson, the skaters for the Mets. 5 forward look for Fort Erie, as it has been much of the season on that top unit. Tonelli will work it in. Picked off there by Stippen. It's clear down the ice. And that'll do it for that unit. Not much to go with thus far on the man advantage for the Meteors. Second unit over the boards as Fort Erie will start out of their own zone. Up onto the far side, it's Zimmerman. Trying to work it in. He'll fire it in on goal. Bergman the save. Colton Radford, first man on it. He goes in clashing with Christie. Fort Erie will work it back to the blue line. Rylan Masterson has it at the point. He'll throw it on goal. It's tipped in. They score! I don't know who it was parked out front that got a stick on it, but the Meteors do strike again on the power play. 2 for 2 on the man advantage. It's 3-0 Fort Erie. Dylan Greenwald looks like will get his 6th of the season. A puck that Rylan Masterson just throws to the goal. A power play that had nothing going. And it finds a way past the goaltender. Here's a drive. Tremblay will kick that out. McCutcheon down in the corner trying to work that puck free. Wicklander in there as well for the Titans. McCutcheon wins the battle back up top to Glowacki. He'll come in and help out. McCutcheon will loft it to the corner. Battle for it down low, and now the Meteors will work it out at center. Bouncing puck, Pepperall chops away at it, comes up empty. Mazzotti now at center. And Brantford will flip it up and out of play into the seats. No. Face-off win, Fort Erie. Here's Donald into the zone. Tate Donald works wide. He'll fire it in behind the net. All the way around Poirier. Works it back up top to the point. There's a shot that is driven wide of the goal. That'll be fired down the ice. Icing's waved off. Poirier skips it up off the boards, back out at center. Takis back into his own zone. Meteors right back into the Brantford zone. Quick snapshot there from Poirier was blocked. Loose puck out front. Brantford now able to corral, and now they'll loft it up through center. Knocked down by Masterson. He'll go to Poirier on the far side. Down in the corner. Poirier gets taken into the boards. Penalty coming here. Arm up. It looks like it's going to be a high sticking call, and it's going to be on Fort Erie. So Brantford back to the power play now. Their man advantage 0 for 2 tonight, looking to strike and get back into this one. Down a trio here early in the second period as that pass is going to be picked off, and Colton Radford's going to go for a skate. Radford, he'll drop off for Tonelli. Tonelli, tight angle shot, and it's up off the stick of David Buckman and out of play. Faceoff will be inside Brantford territory. Frank collects off the draw. He's got it. Tried to send that a pass as Zimmerman And now Wicklander down. Brantford bench calling for a penalty. They're not going to get one. He hops right back up. Wicklander will go back for Buckman. Buckman skating in, holds, he fires off iron. What a shot by David Buckman. Beat Tremblay, but not the post. McCutcheon works it down low. It's back up top into the slot, and it's picked off. Ty McCutcheon will resend it center back into the zone, and Frank can't hold it in as it's back through the neutral zone. David Buckman in his own end now. Under a minute to go on the man advantage for Brantford. They've got a post in it so far. Buckman, clean entry for Wicklander. Drop feed Frank. Caleb Frank. He'll wheel in back for Wicklander. D to D Buckman, skating in. He'll work it down low below the goal line for Frank, who steps up. Scriven, circling in, trying to get that one on goal. Didn't work. Masterson, able to take it away from him, but can't clear the zone. Buckman, look at the ice for him. Opts not to shoot. He'll fire that one right on. And Tremblay, no traffic out front, makes the glove save. Off the face-off, down into the corner. Thorpe digs away at it. 20 seconds to go on the power play, and it'll be cleared by Schmidt. Here's Gavin Christie. The young defenseman into the zone, chops it back to the point. Titans hold it in. Kim LeMay drive. Save made there by Tremblay. Power play over. Brantford now 0 for 3. Meanwhile, Christie coming out front, try to center it. Knocked off, and could be a breakaway from Pepperell from his own blue line. Trying to race back his Gauthier to catch him. Here's Pepperell in all alone. Pepperell! And it's shut down there by Bergman. Didn't really get a clean look off. Back up top to the point. Here's Masterson. He'll skate in and juggled by Bergman, but he gloves it down and hangs on for a faceoff. 8:25 to go here in period number 2. 3-0 Fort Erie lead here in Brantford on a Thursday night. Let's skip around the out-of-town scoreboard. 3 other games going on currently around the GOHL. Let's go to Air 1-1. Panthers and Centennials. Bottom half of the second period. Carter Lewandowski, the electric rookie for the Air Centennials, has his 11th of the season to tie that game at 1. 3-1 now as Caledon has just scored in Hamilton. Hamilton leading that one midway through the second period, and it's 1-0 Strathroy back half of the second period over Sarnia, as Zach LeBlanc has his 22nd of the season for the Rockets. Masterson, his drive, tipped high off the glass. Battleford in the corner. Gage Brandon. He's trying to knock it down. He gets hit in by Papel, and we get a whistle. It's going to be a hand pass called by the official, and this pass will cause the draw to come outside the Brantford offensive zone with 8 even to play here in the second. Face-off win, Mets. Valancourt tried to skip it back. Scriven all over him. Masterson fires it up the ice. It's Adamo meeting it into the zone. Here's Danny Adamo trying to work in. He couldn't get a shot off. Chamberlain had hidden tied up. Trent Valancourt pins it on the half wall. Chamberlain in there trying to free it up for the Brantford Titans. Worked free by the Meteors, though. As Valancourt's got it back of the blue line. Trent Valancourt, he'll loft one on goal, and a clear view for Bergman to glove it down. Face-off will be to the right of Bergman. Frank has it into the zone. He'll settle it down. looking for options on the way to the goal. Wicklander got tied up by Mazzotti. McCutcheon, centering pass. Christie stepping up in the play, try to dish it over for Frank, and he couldn't get a stick on it. Into the zone, Fort Erie is going to be offside, and a whistle. So this faceoff comes in the neutral zone. This the last meeting between these two teams this season. And they got them pretty much completed in the, like we said, 3 times in the past couple of weeks. They played second game of the regular season, I believe, in Fort Erie. So they finished up their game pretty much at the halfway mark of the season as Wicklander works it in. He'll throw it to the far corner. Caleb Frank picks it up. Turn it over. Here comes Fort Erie back the other way. Schmidt for Adamo, and that pass misfired. McCutcheon trying to work it free. We got a penalty coming. It's going to be a hooking call, it looks like, and it's going to be on Fort Erie, so Brantford's going to go back to the power play. Brantford will be back at home here on Saturday. 1 o'clock puck drop to take on the St. Catharines Falcons. As another really tough schedule stretch here for the Titans recently. Doesn't get any easier for them on Saturday. They'll set up on the power play, see if they can find one here back stages of the second period. Good passing play. McCutcheon a rip, and it's knocked down there by Tremblay, and it's cleared by Fort Erie. Great passing in the zone, and McCutcheon just unable to beat it over the shoulder of Tremblay. Zone entry denied. It's turned back. McCutcheon stops on the half boards. Able to hold the zone, though. What a job to hold it, and Fort Erie able to get a stick on it. That's Radford. He'll send it down the ice with $1:20 to go on the man advantage. Nicholson, Tonelli, and Masterson, the goal scorers for Fort Erie here tonight. Ty McCutcheon. He'll flip it over the boards and in. Unable to hold the zone, Scriven, and he's back out at center. 1 even to go on the man advantage. Here's Wicklander moving through the Brantford logo. He's into the zone. Caden Wicklander down below the goal line, now still with it in the Meteor territory. Back up top to the point. Buckman holds it in. Frank knocks it back up to Buckman. Buckman, seam pass, far side. Back up top. Here's McCutcheon. Thought about a shot. Had Frank. Open net. What a save getting across. Tremblay got a piece of it. Brantford, a couple of good opportunities on this power play. That one comes to the near side, and finally they score. They got Tremblay moving post to post, and Caleb Frank, a power play goal, has Brantford right back in it. It's a 2-goal game. It's 3-1. You had a feeling it was going to come for Brantford. That power play looking much, much better. And again, a couple of opportunities for them, and Caleb Frank finally able to bury one past the Meteor netminder. And Oon and Brandon having a conversation on the face-off, and they've got to be separated. Oon all the way over on the side of Gage Brandon. Off the draw, Meteors will control. Tip back into the zone. See if that gives the Titans some jolt here in this second period. Under 5 to play. Meteors hold it in. That pass is picked off by Oon. He'll flip it up but not out. What a job to knock it down. Nicholson. He'll throw it on goal, and it's gloved down there by Bergman. Face-off win, Brantford in their own zone around to the boards. Brandon trying to hold that zone. It'll be flipped out at center and back down the ice. No icing as it's waved off. Here comes Brantford back into the zone. It's Christie, a drive right on top of the blue paint. There's Tremblay to hang on. And again, we get some pushing and shoving after the whistle. That puck is on top of the Meteor goal, and they'll blow the whistle down. Off the draw, it'll be sent down into the Brantford zone. Meteors quickly on it on the forecheck. Watt plays it around to the near side. There's O'Farrell. O'Farrell throws one on goal, score! What a weird one that found a way past Bergman. Patrick O'Farrell just throws it on goal. Bergman was down, it snuck over his shoulder, and Patty O'Farrell has restored a 3-goal lead for Fort Erie. So just as Brantford got right back in it, Fort Erie gets it right back. That pass out of the zone by Buckman. Knocked down by Tate Donald. Here he goes. Gauthier all over Donald, and it's turned back through center. Schmidt able to get back for the Meteors. He'll play it off the board, but gathered there by Gauthier. Here's Gauthier in. He scores. No one hit the post. Oh, Gauthier picked the far side. It looked like it was over the goal line, but no. As Tremblay diving back, able to keep it out somehow. We stay 4-1. Here they come again. Connor Clark. He'll throw that through the slot. Buckman around to the far corner. Loose puck at center. Christie and Poirier after it. And there's Gauthier again on the boards. It'll be one there by Valancourt. He lost it. And now here's Greenwald into the zone. Greenwald. He'll throw it toward the net. That was tipped wide. He'll go for a change now. Loose puck at center. Knocked down by Christie. He'll fire it in on Tremblay. He'll steer it to the corner. $1:50 to go here in this second period. 4-1 Mets tied up in the corner. Masterson still tied up. Chivetti and Masterson. That'll continue. Meanwhile, the Meteors are back down the other way. Tonelli will circle it back at center and dump it in. Colton Radford, first man on it for the Mets. Chipped around on the near side. Tonelli after it. He'll hold the zone once more. And now it'll be cleared down the ice. Schmidt. He'll look ahead. Tipped by Radford, but right to the stick of Capel. Neutral zone battle now here, the back end, as we approach a minute to go here in this period. As that'll be worked down the ice and icing on Brantford with 39.3 seconds here to play in the second period. 4-1, Fort Erie on top Faceoff will come to the right of Bergman. Off the draw, McCutcheon will win it. Christie will throw it high through center. It's going to be a hand pass. Loose puck in the neutral zone, and again, it'll be flipped up and out of play with 25 seconds now to play here in the second period. McCutcheon another face-off win, but Fort Erie, Gage Brandon able to get to it, but now Buckman will dump it into the Fort Erie zone. O'Farrell back on it. He's the fourth goal scorer for the Mets here tonight. And we got a penalty coming in behind the play. Cross-checking is going to be the call. And it's going to be on Gage Brandon, it looks like, of the Mets. So this power play for Brantford, now 1 for 4 tonight, will go back to work. 10 seconds, see if they can get a quick face-off win and a shot toward the net. If not, they'll have a fresh sheet of ice to start the third period on the man advantage. They get the face-off win too cleanly, though, and McCutcheon's got to go back out at center. Radford will shadow, and that'll do it for the second period. So 40 minutes in the books here in Brantford, and a 4-1 Fort Erie Meteor lead as they eye their 14th consecutive victory. 20 minutes away from that. Titans trying to get back into it. They will have a power play to start period number 3. And somebody on the Fort Erie bench just got a penalty. So we'll check what the penalty is on the Meteors, but it's going to be a 5-on-3 for pretty much a full 2 minutes for Brantford to open the third period, and what a chance it'll be for them as Ryland Masterson will voice his displeasure with the call. So something must have been said or exchanged between the official and a member of the Meteors on their way off. And a quick hook from the official. So we'll get that call for you to start the third, but we'll sign off for the second period here. We'll head to the second intermission. 4-1, Mets on top of Brantford. And welcome back inside the Gretzky Center. Alec Murray with you. Third period, Mets and Titans. It'll be a correction on our part. Gage Brandon, who was called for a penalty with 10 seconds left, and then called for an unsportsmanlike additional at the end of the period. It won't be a 5-on-3. It'll be a double minor assessed now to Brandon. So it'll be 3:30 now, a power play time for the Titans to open this third period. Great opportunity, down 3, trying to get one early and get right back into this hockey game. Their lone goal coming on the power play, Caleb Frank, 16th of the season. He's got it now behind the net. He's wiped out into the end boards, and that puck will be flipped and deflected up and out of play. Faceoff will come down to the right of Raphael Tremblay. Tonelli will poke it free in the corner after it again. Couldn't clear the zone. It'll roll right on goal, and Tremblay will scoop it up and hang on once again. Now just a shade under 3 minutes to go on the man advantage for Brantford. Another face-off deep inside Meteor territory. Gauthier comes away with the puck, and Brantford will set up on the man advantage. Here's Christie back at the blue line. Christie will shovel it off onto the near side board. Gets it right back up top. Christie trying to skate in. He's bothered off the puck. Meteor's unable to clear it. Clark goes back to the defenseman up top. Thorpe this time will loft it up. And it'll be Pepperell with it at center. He'll fire it down in. Christie back to collect with 2:30 to go in the man advantage. Meteors 30 seconds away from killing off the first minor. Here's Christie. He'll work it up at center. Drop pass for the trailer. Here's Kim LeMay. Kim LeMay, that puck gets too far ahead of him. It's slapped down the ice once again by Fort Erie. Christie's got it back at center. He'll fire it to the far side as Brantford's back into the zone. First minor's killed off as that puck's all the way around and back down the ice as Cunningham gives chase. Gauthier, first man on it for Brantford. He'll chip it up as the Titans make changes. Buckman back out of the ice. They get that top unit back out there here for another look. Titans can't get it out of their own zone right now as Buckman will stop up in front of his own net. Skips it for Frank. Caleb Frank will weave his way through the neutral zone. Up top, Scriven missed it. Clark back at the point, far side into the slot. And Cunningham will play it off the boards and back up. Not out. Held in by David Buckman. Here's Clark. Clark will work his way down into the zone. Centering pass far side. And that shot goes wide of the goal. What a chance for Caleb Frank on the far side. That one splits Wicklander and Frank. 1 minute to go now in the penalty to Brandon. Played all the way around. Ty McCutcheon collects off the boards. McCutcheon, his pass too hot to handle for Frank, who plays it off the carom. Centering pass up top into the skates of McCutcheon. It's back to the blue line. McCutcheon knocks it down with his hand, but Fort Erie's able to get it out at center with 45 seconds to go. Meteors will make changes as Buckman will start out of his own end. Drop pass for Frank. 30 seconds now to go on the penalty. Gage Brandon set to get out of the box. Here's Frank. One more rush for the Titans. Frank trying to skate through 3 Meteors. Didn't work, and it's cleared back down the ice. 15 seconds to go. Here they go again. McCutcheon can't handle that pass cleanly. Radford all over him, but McCutcheon able to turn up back into the zone. Scriven, centering pass. That's on goal, covered by Tremblay. Just as Gage Brandon hops out of the penalty box, so the Meteors kill off 3 minutes and 50 seconds of power play time. And the lead remains 4-1 Fort Erie. Played up off the wall. Poirier will poke it free. Greenwald around to the far side of Damo. And now they'll poke it out at center. Schmidt off the boards, collected there by Poirier. Papel. He almost turned it over. Greenwald able to hold the zone. Papel's got it back off the boards. He'll work it in for Takis. Takis rips it around, miss Watt. And Capel will play it off the board and out at center. Greenwald up the ice quickly. He's got Adamo. Poirier with him. Greenwald joining the rush. Danny Adamo, his shot whistled high over the goal. Back around for Mazzotti. Alex Mazzotti, he'll kick it in deep. Takis controls for Brantford. Pass misfiring for Oon. Meteors hold the zone again. A shot toward the goal. Knocked down out front by Capel. And Brantford, they'll fire it down as they make changes. So will Fort Erie. Tremblay out to play it. It's going to be knocked down by Radford. Bouncing puck in the zone. Kim LeMay can't come up with it. Mazzotti for Greenwald. And Dylan Greenwald will fire it in. Buckman threads it through for Kim LeMay. Stippen into the zone. Stippen tried to go turn back for Kim LeMay. Tight angle shot. Tremblay out of his goal, able to get back in. Pinned down in the corner. Loose puck out front. Tremblay has it sealed on the far side post. Stippen works it back to the point. Buckman took a tumble, turned it over. Radford might have a break here for Tate Donald. Donald in, fires a shot well high of the goal. Christie was coming back on his left side, and Brantford will play it all the way around and down the ice. It'll roll, and no, icing's going to be waived. As Tremblay will chop it down and settle it. Meteors quickly right back up at center. Here's Reese Meteor. Meteor into the Brantford zone, trying to cut wide. Tight angle shot is off the side of the goal. Donald back there to pick it up for Fort Erie. Back down low for Meteor. His pass hopped over the stick of Zimmerman all the way back down. That one fired toward the net. No, never got there as Tremblay. A mass of bodies out front of him. Fort Erie will send it down the ice, and that'll be icing on the Meteors with 13:17 to go here in period number 3. 4-1 Mets remaining on top here in Brantford. Face off inside the Fort Erie zone. Back out front of centering feed. Tremblay kicks it out with a right pad. Meteors have it in behind the goal. Trying to work that puck out. Still no. McCutcheon in behind the Fort Erie net. Try to go back out front the other way. That tip off a stick. And Fort Erie will control out of their own zone. Here's Nicholson. Moving through center. Evan Nicholson. Navigating the offensive zone, his shot lofted wide. All the way around and back out at center, Mazzotti. Bouncing puck knocked down. McCutcheon comes away with it for Brantford. Here's Ty McCutcheon. McCutcheon holds, fires, and it's deflected up and out of play into the mesh. Faceoff will be deep inside Meteor territory, and now Raphael Tremblay, an equipment issue down in the Fort Erie goal. And that left pad now off. And not sure what's going on in the Fort Erie goal. Everybody's standing around looking up. Tremblay. That left pad is off. And I wonder if there's a more serious issue here because Tremblay not even attempting to put that pad back on. Now this could be interesting here. Looks like RJ Schmidt goes to the door to grab a strap or something here for Tremblay. And I don't think Brantford's too happy with this delay here as they're having a conversation with the official. Tremblay able to strap it back. He looks good to go. Ryan Schultz is going to come in. So I'm not sure what the equipment issue is here for Tremblay, but he's going to get looked at down in the tunnel for that left pad. And now Ryan Schultz forced into action here with 12:31 to go. Schultz coming off a shutout on Saturday over the Brantford Titans. His best game of the season. And now he's in while Tremblay is getting looked at here. Danny Adamo goes to the far side. Here comes Tenellian. Tenelli will loft that high over top of the goal. Down low is Watt. Watt will work it up at center. That's as far as it gets. Trying to bat that out of midair. Gage Brandon after it in the corner. Gauthier pokes away at it. There's Brandon as well as that puck comes to the near side. Meteors will work it back the other way. Gage Brandon holds. He fires Brandon. It hit a stick out front and deflected in front of the goaltender. Christie will work back the other way. O'Farrell shuts that down pretty quickly as he'll work it through center. Here comes Buckman in on the far wing. Buckman a drive. That goes high and out of play. And that'll cause a stoppage with 11:08 to go. Tremblay still getting tended to down in the hallway. Off the face-off, that one looked like it went off the mask of Schultz. Deflected high up, knocked down by the Titans. Christie has it. Shot from the point. Never got to Schultz. Cunningham blocked it out front. Meteors swarming in their own zone. Here's Christie. He spun off the puck, but gets it to Stippen. Stippen, far side pass. Buckman coils and fires up high and out of play. Off the face-off, Meteors have it down low. And Fort Erie now will pull out with Poirier. Tremblay looks like he's ready to rock. So next stoppage, he'll come back in. Loose puck will be picked up by Wicklander. And here he goes back the other way for Brantford. Wicklander in just on side. Skips it across. McCutcheon couldn't handle the feed. Meteors got three back the other way. It's a 3-on-1 for Fort Erie. Greenwald in for Poirier right on goal. And the save is made by Bergman. Takis will loft it down into the Fort Erie zone. O'Farrell skips it around. Schmidt, he'll force the issue back out at center. Buckman there to collect for Brantford. He'll play it for Frank. Frank able to evade Donald. Wicklander works it up for Ty McCutcheon. McCutcheon up for Frank. Back for McCutcheon. McCutcheon, tight angle up top. He finds a man and it's shot just wide. Oh, Buckman, what a chance that was. And he missed the net. Here goes Colton Radford. He's got Danny Adamo to the goal. Tried to slide it across. Good job by Buckman getting back into the play to intercept. Past the midway point of this third period now as Danny Adamo has it on the half wall. He works it back out at center. Stretch pass for Tonelli. Sam Tonelli waiting for help, now walks in, skips down low for Radford. Colton Radford back out front for Tonelli on his offhand. And Wicklander will settle it down. Now a little bit of a stretch here without a whistle as Christie. He's got it up through the neutral zone. Gavin Christie working his way to the far side. Back up top, McCutcheon lets a shot fly. Schultz the save. Big rebound out front. Schultz is down. He's got it, and he hangs on for a faceoff with 8:49 to go. And now Raphael Tremblay will enter back into the crease for the Meteors as Schultz comes in and does his job, makes a couple of saves, and is able to keep it 4-1. As that puck is going to be skipped up and out of play into the benches. Off the face-off, here go the Mets back the other way. Zimmerman works it out. Gauthier kicks it back into the 40 zone. Tremblay out. He'll leave it for his defenseman, O'Farrell. O'Farrell will flip it high through center out of the reach of Watt. Glowacki there to collect for Brantford, loses his stick. And that puck again is up and out of play. Right off the face-off. We'll have to do it again as the puck again up into the Brantford bench. Clean face-off win that time for Kim LeMay. Caleb Frank, he's spun down to the ice. Mazzotti up top. That pass for Pepperell. No icing as Pepperell beats it out. First man back, Pepperell. Buckman takes it from him, up for Kim LeMay, and here goes Kim LeMay back through the neutral zone. Quinton Kim LeMay down the left wing, trying to get on goal. Tremblay the save. Work back out at center, David Buckman. Double take back in his own zone. Up on the far side, him and Christie again logging the minutes for Brantford in this hockey game. .7:30 to go as Gauthier back out at center for it. Slow pace here in this third period as Pepperell tried to work his way into the zone. Turned back by Gauthier. Big collision out front of the Meteor bench, and Pepperell and Frank going at it. And they're going to take both of them, it looks like. So Frank and Pepperell are both going to go. One's going to be a high sticking, one's going to be a holding call. And we'll play some 4-on-4 here with 7:12 to go. Off the face-off, down inside the Brantford zone. It's tied up. Greenwald after it down in the corner, trying to center it. Good stick on the back end, and Takis will move it. Takis flips it off the boards and down the ice. There goes Scriven after it. Ryan Scriven down in the corner, taken in by Mazzotti. Meteors will control out of their own zone. Mazzotti skips it back for Thorpe. He'll sift it up and hits Tate Donald at center. Donald He goes flying as he blows a tire in the neutral zone. Then look at Brantford time in their own end. Here's Clark back into the zone. Clark up top. Kim LeMay slot fires, scores! Quentin Kim LeMay. Beautiful passing play by the Titans. And he's able to beat Tremblay. They've cut the lead in half. And with 6:12 to go in the third period, Brantford is within 2. Radford collects at center. Colton Radford stick handling his way into the zone, has it. He'll dump it in around the boards. Brantford right back into the zone. Drop pass. There's a quick shot. Whistled wide of the net. Evan Nicholson working his way back. Nicholson, tight angle shot. Save made Bergman. Schmidt into the slot. Nicholson curls back near side dot. Evan Nicholson trying to evade Kim LeMay. 16 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Valancourt going to load up Schmidt. His drive goes just wide. Nicholson's got it back below the goal line. Back up top to the point. Schmidt bobbled it out of the box as Caleb Frank. And just out of his reach, would have had a break. Tip through at center, back to 5-on-5. Caden Wicklander into the zone. Wicklander for Frank. Frank back across. Gauthier didn't see it coming. He throws it back out front. Picked up there by Schmidt around the boards. Under 5 to play here. Christie back into the zone for Brantford. And here goes Meteor. O'Farrell fires a shot, glove save, rebound out front. Bergman, he got both of them. As Meteor was crashing hard, and the Titans will take over in their own zone. No, they're going to turn it over to Gage Brandon. Brandon's got it up top. Zimmerman stick handling his way in. Out front, loose puck sitting in the goal crease. Nobody able to get a stick on it. Zimmerman spinning and firing. That's deflected wide with 4 minutes to play, and it's lifted out at center. Here's Wicklander back into McCutcheon. Far side. Takis skating into the near side pass. Unable to pull the trigger. And it's back out at center with 3:30 to play. Donald takes his man into the boards. Here go the Meteors with Greenwald leading the charge. He'll cross with Poirier. Greenwald's drive goes high. Loose puck out front in the blue paint. Valancourt fires a shot, and it deflects up and out of play. So a 4-2 hockey game with 3:22 to go in the third period. Face-off inside Brantford territory. Off the draw, Greenwald after it. Christie, though, can't clear it. Mazzotti lofts one on goal, and again, Bergman first to make a save. Meteors win the face-off down along the half wall. Donald trying to hold the puck in. No, Greenwald comes in to help out. He'll dump it right back in. 3 minutes to go, and now we keep an eye on Bergman in goal for Brantford. Down a pair here in this third period, trying to mount a comeback. They'll loft that wide to the corner. Bergman taking a peek at the bench. No sign yet. And 40 are able to clear it out at center. Stippen can't control it. Brantford's got to get onside. They do. Tonelli, first man back on it. Sam Tonelli able to shake Kim LeMay. He'll sift it up at center for Adamo. Danny Adamo into the zone. He's stripped of the puck by Stippen. Stippen will work it for Christie. Bobbling it at center. Papel now will force it down into the 40 zone. Titans got to get a handle on it here and set up in the zone. Danny Adamo's got it now, 2:20 to play. For O'Farrell. He'll wrist it down into the zone. Buckman lofts it up but not out. Adamo able to hold it in. Second opportunity has Wicklander out. Caden Wicklander. There goes Bergman to the bench. Extra attacker on for Brantford. Adamo, though, has it for Fort Erie. Empty net. Nicholson will flip it down toward the empty goal, and it's going to be icing on the Meteors. $1:58 to go. Bergman on the bench. Face-off coming inside Meteor territory. And here's a big face-off for the Titans. Wicklander going to step in and take it. It'll be won back by Wicklander. Watt has it in deep. Back up top to the point. Takis. Watt parking himself right out front of the goal. As Brantford controls. Frank all the way back up to the blue line. Good save there on the back end by Chamberlain. Chamberlain dishes for McCutcheon. McCutcheon goes cross slot. There's a drive, and getting just a piece of it is Tremblay up and out of play. And now Tremblay a whack at Watt, and he'll turn away and skate back the other way. Face-off will be to the right of Tremblay. $1:30 to play in this hockey game. Off the face-off, Chamberlain wins it back up top to the point. Here's Christie. Christie looking for a lane, can't find it. Zimmerman try to play it off the boards and out. That didn't work. Christie holds it in. There's Zimmerman again doing a good job. He's got the puck, and now he'll flip it out at center. Caleb Frank controls in the neutral zone for McCutcheon. Ty McCutcheon will rip it in. Tremblay thought about going to play it. No, Chamberlain beat him to it. So under a minute to go here in the third period. Here's Caleb Frank. He'll steam down the right wing side. Lost the puck, poked free by Valancourt. Christie toward the goal. It's tipped back and just wide of the net. Thorpe's now got it on the end boards. Valancourt in behind his own net. Christie stepping up. Zimmerman able to chop it back, but not out. Here's Ty McCutcheon to drive. Blocked out front. And Zimmerman's got it. Empty net. He'll work it at center for Sam Tonelli, who's got an empty net to shoot at. He scores. Tonelli gets his 20th of the season. His second goal of the night. Seals it for the Meteors. 2 points away from 200 as Tonelli adds 2 more here tonight. And the Meteors are going to skate away to a 14th consecutive victory here on the season. The longest active streak in the Greater Ontario Hockey League continues as Brantford battled back in the third, but just not enough as Tonelli gets the empty netter. So Fort Erie going to rattle off another victory. Raphael Tremblay gets the win in his Meteor debut for his new team. Fort Erie sweeps the season series over the Brantford Titans as they win 5-2 the final score. Sam Tonelli, 2 more goals to add to his season, puts him at 20. Now on the campaign, and the Meteors rattle off their 14th consecutive victory here as they will head to Cambridge on Saturday night to take on the Redhawks. Brantford gets St. Catharines right back here at the Gretzky Center. 1 o'clock puck drop. Reese Dumani will have the call for you on that one. As we sign off here from the Gretzky Center, I'm Alec Murray. Thanks for joining us. Brantford coming up just short as Fort Erie knocks them off 5-2 final here from Brantford.